Greetings and salutations to everybody in the Hoots podcast universe. It's your boy, your one, the only Derek Stoughton, Brother Carter, welcoming you to episode 339 of the Hoots podcast, also known as the 2022 Hoots Podcast Year-End Awards Special. And because this is a special show, we're going to be handing out some awards. Well, not actually handing out some awards because the people that we're going to give awards to aren't going to look at them either way. But we are, it's a special time, and a special show needs a special host. Based on Josh's performance last week, felt it was time to take over the reins myself, host this show specially just for all of you, and thrilled to be here for this Hoots Podcast Year-End Awards special. For those of you that are watching the YouTube version or watching it later, you'll see that I got a little blazer on because, you know, if we're handing out some awards, we got to be looking swag. You know what I'm saying? We got to look in styling and profiling. You know what I'm saying? We always looking our best for these award shows, and today is no different. By the way, for all the social media plugs, you can follow me on Twitter at Derek Stoughton. You could follow me on Instagram at Derico06 because I actually bring prestige and honor to anything that rhymes with Jericho. I actually bring prestige to that name right there. Also, you can check out my work on WrestlingRumors.net. I am a columnist and writer for that particular dirt sheet. And you can also find my work on DerekStoughton.com. But of course, I am not alone. Helping me hand out the awards this week is the Kevin Patrick to my Byron Saxton, the Michael Cole to my Pat McAfee, there's some other great commentary teams I know. I'm not going to use any of. I almost made an AEW joke. I'm pretty sure that would have gotten me fired. But anyways, joining me alone is the matriarch, the boss, the mastermind of the Hoots podcast, Josh Lopez. What's going on, brother Adam?
As Michael Cole would say, nonetheless. Welcome everybody to the program. Glad to do this nice little special here for you guys before our holiday festivities commence, right, Brother Carter?
Absolutely. There are going to be festivities, trust me.
Yeah, we're about 9 days away from Christmas Eve, somewhere around there.
True. Christmas is in 10 days. Holy cow. Think about that. Wow. There's a lot to do in 10 days. Christmas Eve on the 24th. And then Festivus on the 23rd. The most important holiday out of all of them is Festivus.
Yes. Every holiday counts during this holiday season.
That's right. We can air our grievances and, have feats of strength. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yep. What is the old saying? Christmas beatings?
Christmas beatings. Or yeah. Christmas eatings. If you've seen that South Park, that Saturday Night Live skit with sweaty balls. That's a good one. That's a good classic. You can check that out. So all good. Josh, I noticed you've got, by the way, for all of you that are watching the YouTube version, Josh and I, again, both dressing up dapper for this. And Josh, you got a new little setup there. You want to talk to us about that?
Yes. Hopefully you guys can hear me well within the sound of my voice. I'm trying out my new soundboard that we're going to be using for the podcast going into 2023. This is the first time trying out. It's a mono board. I got this as an early Christmas gift. Shout out to my mom, so I appreciate it. It was a really nice, generous gift. I just really wanted to try to upgrade the sound quality. So at least on my end, Bert Carter always comes through. He is the director of all operations, after all, and all of them. As the host of the show, I should be putting in my duty to be up to his level, if you know what I mean. And you know what? I'm glad that he is the host this week. I probably deserve it because I did mention that CM Punk would probably come back and confront Roman Reigns tomorrow at the Rosemont Horizon or showed up at the Royal Rumble. So for that, I will take the L here. And Brother Carter will be steering the ship, if you will, for the Hoots podcast this week.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to doing that. But we have a lot that we're going to get to today. We'll, of course, get started with the Back Porch Q&A here in just a moment. We always look forward to asking your questions or to answering your questions. Then we're going to hand out our awards for the year. These are going to be actual awards, not the Dave Meltzer Fan Club awards. These are actual awards giving to actual talent for what actual people are doing. And then, of course, we'll get into the main event segment, the greatest segment in all of wrestling podcasting. What the hell is wrong with AEW? But as always, we start things off every week with the Back Porch Q&A. Great opportunity for you to ask us some questions, and we talk about anything that you want to talk about. So Josh, I believe, has the list of questions, so I will turn things over to him. And let's get started with this week's edition of the Back Porch Q&A.
All right, we're going to start off a little different this week. We're going to start off with our good friend Patrick Fritz at Rated PWF. Shout out to Pat.
Rated PWF. Nice.
All right, how about this one? Starting off with some sports. Thoughts about the current NFL playoff picture?
Ooh. Well, the first thing I thought of is who's going to beat the Eagles, man. They look just unbelievable. They look really good. Man, it's hard to say. Somebody has to come out. I think the funniest thing about this is somebody has to come out of the AFC South. I mean, and they're all just terrible. That's the division I'm thinking of. I think that they're all just terrible this year. That's brutal. They're this year's version of the NFC East.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah. But yeah, somebody's going to come out of that division. Man, gosh, I don't know. I just know that the Eagles are pretty much destroying everybody. Dude, I wanted so bad for the Texans to beat the Cowboys last week. That would have been, oh my gosh, if that would have happened, that would have been the greatest thing that have happened this year. Most of my family are Cowboys fans. Hearing Stephen A's rant about the Cowboys would have been amazing. That would be great. Why
don't you tell everybody about the run-in we had during Red Zone this past Sunday?
Yeah, so it was great. So Joshie and I, we were both watching Red Zone. I don't actually, during the regular season, I don't actually watch football, an actual game. I put on Red Zone because I'm in 6 fantasy football leagues because I have a problem. And I just watch it for it's a problem. So I just watched the Red Zone and Josh texted me. He was like, "Hey, I'm watching Red Zone." So I was like, "Well, shoot!" I have shot him a message and we FaceTimed and watched some Red Zone together, and it was a lot of fun. Planning out the show a little bit, and it was all good. And I wish I could have stayed longer, but I only got to stay on for about an hour or so. And then I had, as director of operations, big things popping, little things stopping. That's why I'm dressed up in my fly suit today with my blazer and my T-shirt. So, but I had to, go out and make things happen. But no, that was a lot of fun that we got to do that. That was really good. So, yeah, Josh, what do you think about the NFL football playoff picture?
For me, you're mentioning like comparing the NFC South to the NFC East. My thing is, would it be more apropos for like the Bucks or Carolina, or one of these teams to have a tie instead of the Giants? I think I saw a picture the other day that the Colts are still in the hunt because of their tie earlier this season, and it's like, I don't know about you guys, but can we scrap the tie? Like, can we get rid of that already? I'll say this: I'm not surprised by how overrated the AFC West was this season. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, this is gonna be the Shadow Realm. This is gonna be the Hunger Games." It's just like all the sports shows, Brett Carter, all them, every team from the AFC West were gonna make the playoffs. I was even trying to sip the Kool-Aid. I was like, okay, maybe you want to put the Chargers and the Chiefs and maybe the Raiders sneaking into a wild card spot. No problem, right? But then we have Russell Wilson come in. I kind of feel bad for him, and sometimes I don't like seeing athletes become like the laughing stock of whatever league they're in. I'm just really not into that type of humor, I guess. But but it's kind of like low-hanging fruit. It's like Broncos country, let's take a shit. Broncos country, like, that's right. What are we doing here? So, I'm not really surprised by what's going on from the AFC West. I'll tell you this though. Last thing I'll mention here: the NFC North is just a crap show. I'm not gonna really go on a rant here, but it's crazy to think that the Vikings have 10 wins right now, and nobody takes them seriously whatsoever. What, they got like a 4 or 5 game lead in the division? It's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, but yet they go out and lay an egg against the Detroit Lions this past week. Yeah, I'm just looking at this, and I mean, I still think the Bills are coming out of the AFC. I really think that this is time, and Stephon Diggs, man, he's hungry. He wants it. So I've still got the Bills coming out of the AFC East. Oh boy. I had initially put the Buccaneers in there. Man, how crazy would that be if the Bucs pulled off a big upset and we got Brady in the Super Bowl again? Right now, it looks like the Bills and the Eagles are on a collision course, unless the Chiefs can take them down again. But I think, well, you know who else though, Josh? Out of the AFC, watch the Bengals, man. They're having a great season too.
Yep.
And Joe Burrow is that dude. So right now it looks like Bills and Eagles are on a collision course for the Super Bowl, but who knows?
All right, really quick, as I got the mic here on the table here, we good?
Oh yeah,
we're doing this like, you guys hear me still?
I hear you great.
All right, cool. Let's continue on here. Thoughts about the final month of 2022 as a whole. I guess he's asking like just in general, like how's this year been for you? Just maybe wrestling related too. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, 2022 has been a crazy year. Good year in a lot of ways. Finishing up a lot of things in my personal life and preparing for a wedding because that's happening next year. So I'm very excited about that. And 6 months from Saturday, so it's crazy. So that's coming up. Yeah, it's been a really good year. A lot of good stuff going on and great advancement for the show. Just some finishing up some personal life. Wrestling wise, obviously, what a year it's been. Obviously, one of the biggest changes in WWE in the last 40 years taking place, and we're starting to see a new regime. And there was a big firing yesterday in WWE, which we'll talk about a little bit later on in the show. I don't know if we got a question about that, but if we do get a question, we'll talk about that eventually. But I think WWE is heading in the right direction. I think, per usual, AEW is heading in the wrong direction, and which we knew what was going to happen. But no, it's been a really good year. I think looking ahead, though, 2023 is going to be one of the most pivotal years in the life of Derico. And I'm looking forward to sharing that with all of you. I'm going to have new marriage, new job, lots of other stuff happening. So big things popping, little things stopping in 2023. Really anticipating a great year that's going to be. But yeah, 2022 has been good. 2022. It feels like, Josh, it's been a more normal year this year. As I keep forgetting that COVID was still kind of, I mean, we knew it was a thing, but COVID was still pretty high in 2020 at the beginning of 2022, and now it's really starting to come off. March is when things really started to open up back to normal. So we're feeling like we're more back in normal times. I think 2023 is going to feel like a more normal year for everybody.
You brought up a good point there about COVID and stuff, and I feel like for me, when I look back over the last couple of years, I kind of feel like all of us have been living in a tunnel. And I think the sad part about it, outside of course, the unfortunate losses that people have had and family members that have fortunately passed away from this disease, is kind of how fast time has gone since this thing initially started. I feel like a lot of stuff have happened and it's just gone in the blink of an eye. And before you know it, 2 years have gone by. Like, think about it from my end. I was 26 when the pandemic started. Now I'm 28.
Wow.
It's like, it's crazy how fast time goes by. And I feel like, if anything, this pandemic has taught me is really appreciate what's in front of you and being present in the time of where you are in your life. I'm really happy for you, bro, Carter, because I know you had a really long journey, not just professionally, but still going out of your way to do your educational classes and, getting your degrees and stuff like that. But, getting engaged is really one of the coolest things anybody could ever experience in their life. And I'm very happy for you. I have no doubts that good things are around the horizon once you get closer to the wedding time. And I'm not only that, but the fact, like you said, you're about to finish up your schooling and taking classes, and all that's about to be done, and you can just go on your journey and make millions and millions. And
millions of dollars,
millions of dollars. Yes, but honestly, like for me, no, it's been really cool from my end to see how much this has been a successful video for you. For me, I feel like this year has been a lot of soul searching and healing on my end. I kind of look at this year more of like a rebuild type of year for myself.
Okay.
At least personally. I think professionally, I've had a couple of struggles deal with budget cuts and stuff with my transcripts, and that's been kind of frustrating. But when it comes to this podcast, it's been a very, very good year for both of us with this show. I feel like what the hell is wrong with AEW? It's taking another step that I didn't think we would reach with this thing. Honestly, like when we first started this, I thought it would be like a, maybe a 2 or 3 month thing that would be like a fun bit to do, and then eventually be people like, can you guys just do an AEW view without bashing it? And honestly, like I didn't think that was to be what the segment was, but it's never really been just a full bashing session.
No.
You're getting our real thoughts on how we observe the show. I have my views as somebody who covers it every week, and I got Brother Carter, who actually was old enough to understand what an actual alternative looked like during the Monday Night Wars. So you got two different perspectives here, and I'm very happy with the success that this show's had. I think more importantly for me, I'm just very happy for the fact that I can say my heart is healed from the stuff I've been dealing with. And I'm just like happy, like things are going well at the apartment, and I really don't have a lot of complaints, to be honest with you. Outside the stuff that was out of my control with the budget cut stuff, like I still feel like I'm at top of my craft when it comes to transcripts, and life is good.
That's awesome. Well, Josh, but first off, thank you for those kind words, and thank you for giving me a platform to just talk. I always say that I'm just a schmo who happens to be a wrestling fan who now just has a platform to give their thoughts. I'm not anybody special. I'm not anybody, I'm not a, I don't analyze things the way that you do. I just take the product for what it is at face value and give some thoughts about it. That's really all I do. And so to have a platform to get to do that and to reach so many people is really awesome. And so I thank you, Josh, for that opportunity. I mean, think about how many downloads the show has gotten since, what are we at, like 600? How many downloads are we at now?
Yeah, on Anchor, we're on 610 plays and downloads. It's pretty crazy.
That's amazing. That's the world was so just, and it's just so funny to think, to see you, Josh, how you've grown over these last couple of years. And I know this was your heart's feeling better, and I know that's been awesome to watch you grow and get better and watch this thing grow. It's really, really, really cool. And I'm waiting to see when you're finally going to make that move down south. I know that's a thing that we're in the works with, and that'll be very cool when that happens eventually. But now I'm so proud of you. I just think of back when this was the Josh Lopez wrestling podcast, and when you and Adam were doing the thing, and then I was fortunate to join you all, and now it's you and I, and it's just been so cool to see the show grow over these last 6 years now you've been doing the show. Yeah, that's really cool. So congratulations to you, man. Looking forward to great things to you in 2023, and it's going to be a great 2023, and looking forward to doing this show together. It's going to be great.
Yes. Yeah, we celebrate 300 episodes.
That's right.
Yeah, we celebrate 300 episodes.
And you didn't think you were going to come back after that 300th episode. You thought it was over.
Yeah. I'm glad that we're still doing it. I think that's the key thing that I've been realizing recently. It's like we made the right decision to continue on here. And think about it. Next week would be 40 episodes since that 300th one was. again, time's going by fast. But
And it's just I'm glad to know that you realize that it's okay to take some time off, that you have a cast of characters that can fill in. If you think about it, our show is, you've got a bunch of personalities on any show. You've got yourself, me, we've got referee Tony, we've got all of our fans, we've got Nate, we got Chris, Sam, Patrick, all those guys, and all those great fans and supporters. And I know there are more of you out there, but and by the way, if you want to get involved in the show, we would love for you to get involved in the show. Do not be afraid to reach out to us. We would love to have you get involved. But yeah, great year for all of us, and looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in 2023.
Yeah, and last thing we'll mention for this question, honestly, this has probably been the craziest year I ever had when it comes to covering professional wrestling. Just with the amount of shows that have gone on this year, let alone all the outside of the ring nonsense that we have to sift through. It's been crazy. All right, here's the last question for Pat this week. He says, best Christmas movie and worst Christmas movie.
Ooh. Actually don't watch a lot of Christmas movies, so
I
so I don't know. All right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna say controversy today, right? Best Christmas movie, Die Hard.
Okay.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Here's the thing.
And
go ahead.
Here's one. I'm gonna get a lot of heat for this. Everybody I talk to, I don't like A Christmas Story. I don't like that movie. I just think the characters are so annoying. I do. And I dribbled, how dare you? And you put your tongue on a flag. Who does that? Who does that? Now, I will say the reboot is actually pretty good. If you're on HBO Max to watch A Christmas Story is actually pretty good. If you've seen the original, it's actually pretty good. But I just don't like A Christmas Story. I don't know. It's just me. The last thing I'll say, though, and I promise I'll give it over to you, Josh. My fiance, the most important holiday of the year for her is Christmas. She's been starting Christmas planning since November 1st. So once I have crossed over into the, into the life of unbachelorship, and I've basically signed my life away, yes. There will be many more Christmas movie watching in my future and decorating. And I'm about to enter a world of Christmas that I never thought possible. So there's that. So there's mine. Josh, what about you?
Are you undercover Grinch?
No, I am not an undercover Grinch. I very much am my support of this show. And listen, as director of operations, I go at things and make things happen, right? I make the addition, I make the subtraction, I make the multiplication, the division, the fractions, the denominators, then all those operations. I go out and make it happen, baby. I give back because I am a philanthropist. I am a philanthropist. That's what I do.
All right.
When you're in positions of power, it's what you have to do. You have to give back to the commoners, to the scribes such as yourself.
That's taking a low totem pole. It's insane. I'm with the common.
I remember, Josh. I am Sir Derico. I am royalty.
Yeah. I understand. All right. For me, maybe just my age showing, but my favorite Christmas movie of all time is The Grinch with Jim Carrey.
Oh yeah,
that's my personal favorite Christmas movie. I appreciate what Christmas is and what it's supposed to mean. What I don't like about Christmas in this time of year is the need to change people's mood swings and how they carry themselves, especially towards Christmas. And I know a lot of that comes with stress of what to buy people, yada yada yada, stuff like that. But I feel like it's always right after Thanksgiving where people feel like they need to be crabby and snarky and stuff like that, and that really takes the fun out of what this Christmas time of year is supposed to be like. Now, I'm not a full Grinch. I do think it's kind of odd that we're still celebrating Santa with some of the stories that have been out there and how Santas act at malls and stuff like that. But we don't need to get into that. We don't need to get into that, but I mean, you can watch the bad Santa movies with Billy Bob Thornton, so you get a better picture. But, honestly, though, I'm not a full Grinch, but it's like I feel like a lot of it is just a time where a lot of people act phony and shady, and just different when they don't need to. So that's my thoughts on that. Worst Christmas movie I ever seen. God, man. I'd probably say the new one with Freddie Prinze Jr. that I watched on Netflix the other day because I was bored and had nothing to do. That wasn't good. I'll tell you a good one though that I watched recently. It was called Holiday. It's with Emma Roberts, who's the niece of Julia Roberts. It's on Netflix. Very good movie. Basically, the premise of the story is that she's like struggle trying to find like her true love or whatever, so she makes this agreement. It's not like friends with benefits, but basically she has like a boyfriend for every holiday. For Easter, for Thanksgiving, what? 4th of July, what? Halloween, what? Yeah, so it's pretty cool. And then they batch it up at Christmas. It starts for Christmas and it ends at Christmas for a calendar year. It's a pretty cool movie. If you haven't seen it, it's called Holiday. It's HOLI date. It's pretty simple way to type out.
Okay.
Holiday. Yeah. I think you and your lovely soon to be bride would enjoy that movie a lot.
Very good. I'll check it out. I'll check it out.
Check it out. That's what we do here in this podcast. No.
That's right.
All right. Next batch of questions here. We're gonna go to our good brother Chris Aletta at X Team 24.
Throw up the X for Chris, not for Punk.
Yeah. By the way, I'm going to say this every week because it still remains true. Des Bryant did catch the ball against the Packers in the playoffs. That's why I threw up the X. Screw the Packers and screw Aaron Rodgers. All right, let's go to the next questions here. All right.
Have they been mathematically eliminated?
No, unfortunately not. Hopefully they lose this week.
Who they got this week?
I don't even know.
I'll look it up and I'll tell you if they're going to lose. All right, go ahead.
All right. What up, Boost? Here's some questions for the Q&A this week. Brock Purdy, legit or cause of the current system he's in?
That's tough. Can we table that? Because I almost think that, well, it's hard to say though, Josh, because I feel like with that offense, you or I could go in and play quarterback and it would be fine. Just give the ball to Christian McCaffrey the whole time and it would be fine. But so I don't know. I think we'll really find out this week, because especially if Debo isn't playing, we'll really be able to find out, because that's a big weapon, Debo Samuel, for them. So I'm going to say that the jury is still out on that one. I don't know. I will say, though, he looked pretty good in his last couple starts, because you still do have to manage the offense. Like, you still have to manage the play calling on the field and stuff. But
well, you got to play. You got to play.
True.
That's the thing I don't understand in sports, where people always have to add an asterisk towards a certain player because, oh, they're in a system. Oh, they're only good because, like, Andy Reid's their coach and stuff like that. Like, okay, sometimes I think people are kind of over the top with how they view Patrick Mahomes and say he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Yeah, I get that. But at the same time, you have to acknowledge what's in front of you, what you're in. And, like, yeah, you may be under a great coach. I don't think the coach deserves 100% credit of everything you do. You still got to play.
Sure.
You know, I didn't need convincing that Tom Brady was the greatest quarterback of all time, but the fact that he won the Super Bowl the way he did in Tampa Bay against the Chiefs, as I just mentioned, I didn't need more convincing. It was right there's no doubt. Face.
The fact is, you can win 8 Super Bowls. I mean, that's with 2 different teams now. So now there was always the Brady Belichick debate. Yeah, I mean, I think it's Brady. Look what Belichick has been doing without Brady. I mean, look at his team this year. You have Mac Jones on the field literally screaming and yelling at his offensive coordinators that they don't know what they're doing. Like, hello.
I mean, it's kind of a bad look for Mac, where he has to be. He was a Pro Bowl last year, right? His rookie year, he was a Pro Bowler, and then what he gets in return is Matt Patricia and Joe Judge. That's what he gets in return. You know what I mean?
That to me, that's on the coordinators, though. I mean, if you have a Pro Bowl quarterback and you can't do anything with him, that's on the coordinators. But that's just me. Yeah. But right. Yeah, but all this to say, I hope Purdy does well. We're going to find out more about him this week, and we'll really see. Should be good. By the way, Josh, the Packers are playing the Rams in the Monday night game, so don't care. That's going to be a snooze fest.
Poor Baker Mayfield. He has to take the trip out to Lambeau. I feel bad for him. All right.
Dude, by the way, how about Baker? How about Baker, though? Holy crap. That was unbelievable.
I kind of feel
guilty. We were talking about after we recorded last week.
Yeah. That's why I feel guilty, because I was like, oh, last week I was like, hey, our guy Adam Daly, his Raiders are playing tonight, and then they lose to Baker Mayfield. I kind of feel like we added some bad juju, Hey, I'll give props for credit. I thought that was pretty impressive for Baker. Just think about that. He had 48 hours to not only be part of the team, but try to figure out what their scheme is and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
He led him on a 98-yard drive to get the win. So good for him. That's great.
Not a good look for Derek Carr, though. In that game.
Or Josh McDaniels. He's got to be on the hot seat, I would think. But
it's a shame that owners can never be on hot seats. But let's go to the next question. What has been the best move in the MLB this offseason so far? Well, I'll tell you which one isn't. Carlos Correa getting $350 million from the San Francisco Giants. Like, what?
I saw that.
He's a good player. He's all right, but is he Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, Aaron Judge? No. Some of these contracts that I've been seeing so far this offseason, Bro Carter, since we just coming off the heels of the winter meetings, it's been absolutely ridiculous to me. Like,
well,
good.
It's every time I see one of these giant baseball contracts, my first question is, where is the money coming from? Because, I mean, I get that you have to play 156 games. Like, I understand that. So there's lots of opportunities for ticket sales, but you don't have people that are going to attend 156 games. Like, I look at some of these games and I'm like, where's the people? Show me the people,
Where are they at? Where are they at?
The only thing I can think of is I had no idea that the TV rights, they must be getting a ton of money in TV rights. I had no idea that baseball on TV was still so popular. That's got to be where the money's coming from, right?
It's got to be, because I always see reports, especially here in Chicago, about how attendance is down 20% from where it was 2 or 3 years ago, and it doesn't make any sense to me. They must have the best TV deals in the history of sports to make this happen.
I went to a Colorado Rockies game this summer. By the way, that was a ton of fun. And Coors Field is a really nice Coors Field. Yeah, their field is. Yeah. It's a really nice field, by the way. And that was a lot of fun. The Rockies game was a lot of fun. We got some really good seats, so that was cool. But I was looking around and I was like, not a lot of people here. Like, the stadium is half full, maybe. Yeah. So, again, where's the money coming from? I don't know.
Xander Bogaerts to the Padres. That's the one they had. I think his was an 11-year deal for $300 million. Aaron Judge, as if anybody was surprised, the Yankees were going to give him all the money he could just to stay there.
Right.
It's hard for me, Chris, to say what's the best one, because I think what's really telling that a lot of these contracts are not going to be fruitful, if you will. I don't think you're going to get a lot of return on investment in a lot of these contracts we've been seeing that have been dished out. So, let's go to the next question here. For Chris, he says, should MJF hold the title till 2024?
Ooh. Here's my initial thought is, who in the company is going to take it from him? There's one person that I think could take it from him, and he had a match with him last night. That's the only person I think that can take the title off of him right now. I mean,
are you saying who you want or who you actually think would take the title off?
well, I mean, sorry, who I would like to take the title. It's probably going to be. We'll get into this, Josh. Why do I have this feeling that Olivier is going to be the one that takes the title off of him, or Paige, or somebody in the elite is going to take the title off of him? I just have this feeling.
Yep. Writing's on the wall, pal. Chris, as much as I would love to see MJF have a long title reign, and he's more than worthy and he could handle that distinction, if you will, to be the long reigning champion, I have to believe it to see it. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm kind of feeling nervous for the fact that MJF is probably going to fight Karen Danielson at Revolution in March. And it would not surprise me if Karen Danielson won the title. You got to remember, AEW makes a lot of decisions just to appease that low common denominator, their audience, and their decision making is based on what WWE does and dirt sheets and what they want. It's not really what's best for their product, and that's my main concern with that question.
I agree.
Let's go to the next one. What match are you looking forward to the most for Wrestle Kingdom this year? Good question. I just finished covering the New Japan World Tag League and Super Junior Tag League Tour. As I was telling you, Brother Carter, a few weeks ago, I've been doing this combo tour for New Japan. It just wrapped up on Wednesday, and Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi won the World Tag League. They'll be fighting FTR for the IWGP Tag Team titles at Wrestle Kingdom. Carl Anderson retained his Never Openweight title, which is kind of cool to see. He's going to fight Tama Tonga for the title at Wrestle Kingdom. So Carl Anderson, still being contracted to WWE, will still be allowed to perform at Wrestle Kingdom this year, which I think is a cool deal. But as far as the matches that are announced, Chris, I think for me, I'm stuck between either Jay White and Okada, which is the main event for the IWGP title, or for me, I am kind of intrigued to see what Olivier and Ospreay put together, because I think that's probably going to be a good match. So,
wow, you're actually looking forward to an Omega match.
Again, I enjoy Olivier's work in New Japan. It's different when we got Carry On Our Wayward Son and a whole bunch of bullshit that we got to deal with the other time. But yeah, I am intrigued for that match. Yes.
Good. Cool.
And hey, who knows? I think maybe this FTR match with Hiroki Goto Yoshihashi could steal the show. And then you got Zack Sabre Jr. and Ren Narita, which is, they're introducing a new title. It's kind of a TV title, but for streaming purposes, they called it the NJPW World Television Championship. So they got new title they're debuting there. So it's gonna be a cool card. And hey, the greatest female wrestler of all time is gonna show up, ladies and gentlemen.
Which means she's going to show up on AEW to promote the show, which that is a marriage made in heaven right there. AEW and Sasha Banks. That's
you ain't kidding.
That's a perfect.
You ain't kidding. All right.
Yep.
Back to football. Who will be the wild card teams for both the NFC and AFC?
Ooh.
Let's make this one quick.
Let me pull up my standings here. Let me see. Who are the wild card teams? Does this mean like who is going to make it in, or
yes,
who do we think is a sleeper team that could sneak in and actually make a run?
No, just who's going to be the wild card teams.
Okay, let me pull up the NFL playoff picture. I'm just pulling that up here right now. Okay, I'm just pulling it up right now. This is on NFL.com, and who's still in the hunt? Ooh. Man, Josh, you want to go ahead while I'm looking it up here?
Yes. Okay. For me, I think it'll be the Cowgirls. What?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think the Commanders will make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna say it. The brand new Lions. The Lions are gonna
Wow.
get the last spot.
Wow. You know, Josh, I don't disagree with you. That would be tremendous. And I really think that Dan Campbell is a good coach. I do. I think he's just had some bad luck, and I like it. I like it. Okay. Looking at this here. Let's see, from the AFC. I definitely think Dolphins are getting in. The Chargers could sneak in there, I think.
Uh-huh.
And either the Ravens or the Bengals. Yeah, definitely the Cowboys. I'm going to say the Seahawks are going to get in.
Yeah.
The Seahawks should get in. I like your pick of the Lions too, man. I like that pick. I think they're going to sneak in that 7 seed. Now, they're going to get creamed. They're going to get creamed in the first round. But
or they beat the Cowboys in the Hey, say it with me. Everybody, as you're watching, listen, say it with me. Brand new
Lions. Yes. Also, be patient. Just wait. The fall is coming.
Yes.
The fall is coming in Dallas. I can't wait. The accident happens around. Just wait. The accident. Wait and stick around. Just wait.
All right. Really quick for me for the AFC, I think it's going to be the Ravens. I think the Bengals are going to win the division. The Ravens are just on the downfall, especially with this Lamar Jackson injury. I got that. Dolphins remain the same at 6. And then I'm going to have to see how this game plays out in Carolina this weekend, but I'm going to say that the Steelers are going to sneak in.
Wow.
7. Okay.
Really? Above the you have the Patriots in?
No, I don't.
You think the Patriots are going to fall out cuz they're 7-6 right now?
I think they're going to fall out. And honestly, Massage Boy is not going to do anything for the Browns. Sorry, Eddie, but yeah, Massage Boys look like pure ass so far since he's come back.
They're terrible.
Yeah.
All
right,
Steelers. That's interesting.
All right.
Oh, how about this one? Oh, Josh, I got one more for you.
Yeah.
How about them? The Jets. How about those New York Jets? If they can kind of hang on, maybe.
I just think it's funny that they're still holding out hope that Zach Wilson might come back before the season ends. So they cancel each other out. And the only reason I'm not putting the Chargers in at 7 is because their stupid head coach who thinks it's okay to go on 4th down every single time, no matter where they are on the field. So, all right, next question. Favorite match from NXT Deadline for anybody that did watch the premium live event. For me, my favorite one was the men's Deadline match. I thought it was fantastic. Grayson Waller stole the victory for Carmelo Hayes. A lot of people are upset about it. Be mad about it. Grayson Waller is a great heel. I think he's tremendous. So I thought that was a good match. And also, if you haven't watched it, go check out Braun Breaker against Apollo Crews. Very, very good match for the NXT Championship as well. Nice. All right. How about this? Do you think Phoenix or Penta will get an AEW Championship reign? Unfortunately, no. I have to be proven otherwise.
No, the only person out of that group that could get a title reign, I think, or who I think deserves it, is Pac. But we'll get into that here in a little bit.
Last one here for Chris. He says, thoughts on Roxanne Perez becoming the brand new NXT Women's Championship. Brother Carter, did you hear this or did you get to see it?
I did. I get to see it. And I have obviously mixed things. First off, congratulations to Roxanne Perez. I think she deserves it. I think she's like what, 21 now, 22 years old.
Yep.
And she's already at this point in her career. I think she could go down if she keeps on this trajectory. She may go down to have one of the great careers of all time. She is just, you know how we talked about this last week with MJF. You know how some wrestlers just have it.
Yeah.
Roxanne Perez has it. She has got the it factor. So congratulations to her. The reports I've been seeing was that this had always been the plan, was for her to take the title. It was just going to happen later on in the year. And we'll get into all that here in just a little bit. But I saw the match. So happy for Roxanne Perez, also known as Roxy. And I think she's going to have a long and fruitful reign as NXT champion.
All right. Thank you, Chris, for the questions as always. Last batch of questions here. We got a lot of them from Nathan Great. He's back. He
nice
to the questions this week. So
and,
we're gonna speed through these.
Yeah, we're gonna have to rapid fire through these. Yep.
Yes. We're gonna speed through these. There are a lot of them, so we'll just keep this going here. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, by the way, at Psycho Nagiri, if you will. All right. First one. Does winter ever affect your mood? I certainly get seasonal depression.
Yeah, it's for me. It does, just because I don't like cold weather. But yeah, I tend to be a little bit just not as happy in the wintertime because I just don't like it. So yeah, I would say so, especially when we're getting to like December and January. If you go outside and it's like, I'm here in Colorado and it's -5, it's just not fun. So I say a little bit, but again, mostly all of my happiness, and Josh, you talk about this too at the end of our show, comes from within. So if you can just be happy about where you are in life, you can overtake that. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, I do.
I don't get seasonal depression. Like for me, I'm so really tied into just being present and living for today, because tomorrow's not guaranteed. And I don't know. I just feel like I can't use a season as an excuse to be moody and crabby. You know, I just don't really believe in that. Or just like the people that are just mopey on Mondays because, oh, I'm back at work, so I got the case of the Mondays. Like I think that's stupid. Okay, everybody goes to work on Monday. Deal with it. Let's go to the next one here. What's one song you wish you? Go ahead.
All I'll say about that is, if you are going to a job that you don't like, you got to take hold of your life, man. If you're getting up and you're not happy about going to work on Monday, then you need to find another job. Go do what you want to do. Find your gift and go make money at what your gift is. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes. Live your life, pal. Let's do it.
Don't exist. Live.
How about this one? What's one song you wish you knew how to play on a guitar? Oh, man. Great one. You got one?
The first one that comes to... Yeah, I've got two. The first one that comes to mind is Thunderstruck by AC/DC. To be able to play that opening guitar riff would be cool. And the other one, and this is going to sound, if you want to call me a nerd or whatever, that's fine. But I think the greatest theme song to any television show of all time is the Power Rangers theme song. I think it bops, dude. So to be able to play that, I think would be awesome. So it bops. Fine. I don't care. It's the greatest theme song of all time.
No, I'm not calling you a nerd. I liked Power Rangers a lot growing up as a kid as well. By the way, T's and P's, Jason David Franca unfortunately passed away a couple weeks ago. I saw that. Very sad to see.
Well, just another word, man. If you need help, talk to somebody. Don't just wallow in your own thoughts. We saw another one this week. There was a rap artist that took his own life. Twitch, I think, is his name.
Yeah, he was a producer for Ellen DeGeneres.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
At
crazy,
age of 40, man, it's just very, very sad. Don't feel like you can't talk to anybody. Honestly, it'll do you more favors than you realize. Open up.
Absolutely.
Okay. For me, I'm gonna say "Let There Be Rock," since we're talking about AC/DC songs.
Yes. That's a great song.
Drums and guitar. Oh, let there be rocking.
That's a great song.
One, I think for me, the only other one I want to do is ones that I haven't learned yet is "Smooth" by Carl Santana and Rob Thomas,
Mm.
which was a late '90s classic. As they played that song every day on the radio. I remember as a kid during that time when they were playing that. By the way, something you guys may not know about me: I'm a big Matchbox 20 fan.
Oh,
I
nice. Me
yes,
too, actually. I like Matchbox 20 a lot too. I thought it's a great artist. Rob Thomas and just that whole band. I thought they were terrific.
yes. If You're Gone is my favorite song from Matchbox 20, or Back to Good. That's another good one. If you will.
Oh, good choices. I like 3 a.m. I like 3 a.m. too.
Yeah, that's a fun one to play with a capo, by the way, which I'm holding right
Ooh,
now.
very nice.
All right, next
No,
question here. No. Who are your musical idols? Since we're talking about music here.
man. Well, I'm a drummer, so growing up, it was definitely Lars Ulrich, and he was a big one. Travis Barker,
Yeah.
Neil Peart, um, yeah, some of the truly great drummers. Even the two big one for me was Lars Ulrich and Neil Peart. I think they were just fantastic drummers growing up. You know, John Lennon, I think Paul McCartney are some of the greatest songwriters and artists of
Yeah.
all time. Oh gosh, there's so many good ones. Now I think of like there's mezzo soprano Renee Fleming, who I think is incredible. Yo-Yo Ma, Itzhak Perlman. Um, gosh, there are just so many. Chris Martin, trumpet player. Gosh, just so many. Flea on bass. I was a big fan of Flea on bass. I thought he could throw down. So those are just a few off the top of my head. What about you, Josh?
What about the drummer from Dave Matthews? I forgot the name of his.
I forget his name too, but he was good. Oh, hold on. Dave Grohl is another one
Yeah, Dave Grohl's tremendous. Yes,
from Foo
absolutely.
Fighters. Yeah.
Yes. My inspiration is a little different because I play guitar.
Mhm.
I, I, if I had to pick one for percussion, because that was my main like. When I did concert band, I was a percussion player, so we did live xylophones, timpanis, wind chimes. Just a
Oh
lot of
wow.
fun instruments. Roy Ayers was a really talented xylophone player from the '70s. He's the R&B singer and played xylophone. She was really good player. But for me, for guitar reasons, is George Harrison. George Harrison
Oh
is the
yeah.
reason why I wanted to become a guitar player. He's my favorite guitar player of all time. I'm also my favorite band of all time is the Eagles. So Glenn Frey and Don Henley are inspirations to me from their songwriting point of view. Joe Walsh and Don Felder, who are the guitar players, were another good source of inspiration for their guitar playing. I really like Kurt Cobain.
Oh, good
And
choice.
how he carried himself musically. You can go back to Santana, like I mentioned before. I got a
Mm.
couple other ones like Johnny Gill, who's a
Oh.
singer. I'm a big R&B fan, so I really liked his work. Of course, I'd be remiss without mentioning Biggie Smalls from a rap point of view. Um, I got a lot of. I say if I had to pick my Mount Rushmore of music idols for me, it's George Harrison, Glenn
Mm.
Frey, Biggie, and Santana.
Good choices.
Those are my four.
Awesome. Good choices.
All right, who's the Michael Jordan of the Blackhawks? I'll take this one. I think it's either Bobby Hall or Patrick Kane. I love to get Sam's thoughts on this, but I think it's either Bobby Hall or Patrick Kane were probably the best Blackhawk players of all time.
Yeah, I the first name I thought of was Patrick Kane. Yeah. So there you go. Hey, Ed Belfour was a good goalie for y'all for a long time.
Yep. Also, shout out to Marion Hossa, who also had his jersey retired here a few weeks ago, I think. Maybe a month,
Awesome.
whatever it was. Great player. Definitely a future Hall of Famer. Do you ever get sick of Chicago style pizza? I don't, believe it or not, I really don't have Chicago style pizza all the time. To believe it or not, when I do order pizza, I'll tell you this: one pizza I wish I had more of that I don't get a chance to like eat a lot is New York style pizza. I really don't
Mm.
have it a lot. and I wish I tried it more. Maybe I could appreciate it. But there's always these debates about which pizza is better and stuff like that. We don't need to get into that right now. I know you've been here to the city a bunch of times, but Carter, what's your thoughts on our pizza?
Well, I mean, I only get to sample it once every year, once every 2 years, but every time I do, I enjoy it. That deep dish style I think is just terrific. A lot of people say that Luminaldi's or Giordano's are kind of that's the debate between the two restaurants.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, oh, those are just the chains, but I think they're both really good. I'm a Giordano's guy myself, but I think the deep dish style pizza is terrific. And next time I'm up there, I hope I get to sample it again.
Yeah, Lou Manali's can take a trip to Philly because it's trash. All right, let's go to the next one here. Who do you think is the best bad team in NFL? He says, I gotta go Lions. Honestly, Nate, I gotta tell you, I don't think the Lions are a bad football team, so I can't pick them.
They are. I don't think they are either. Who is the best bad football team? I'm just looking at the thing here.
Bucks.
Oh, I got one, Josh, and I think I might, based on our segment, I think this might be a problem. I think the best bad team might be the Jaguars.
Oh,
they might be. You got Trevor Lawrence. You got Trevor Lawrence. You got Christian Kirk. You got Travis Etienne. They're all starting to play a lot better. They might be the best bad team because I agree with you. I don't think the Lions are a bad team, so you can't put them in that category.
I'm gonna go with the Bucks by default. There's not a lot of
yeah. Okay. Yeah. You got to go Bucks because they've got TB12. But
yeah. Chiefs or Eagles? Who gets upset in the playoffs?
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles because Mahomes is seasoned. Jalen Hurts isn't.
Yeah.
We don't know if Jalen Hurts can play under pressure. We know Mahomes can.
Who's your favorite football player of all time?
Ooh. I haven't been following NFL that long. So I've only started really getting into NFL in the last 5-6 years because I've been a college player, a college guy my whole life mostly. Oh, boy. I'll give you my favorite. I don't know if he's the greatest of all time, but I'll give you my favorite. It's Patrick Mahomes. Okay. And I think what Mahomes can do with a football is I still think he's the best player in the NFL right now until somebody can prove me otherwise. But my favorite is Patrick Mahomes.
For Bear, I'll go with Devin Hester. And then for me, outside of Chicago, I'll go with Peyton Manning. That's my favorite.
Good choice.
Of all time.
Yep.
Should Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire get into the Hall of Fame and Pete Rose? Yes and yes. You should not penalize these guys for making your baseball league relevant during the late 90s. Yep. MLB was the thing, I remember as a kid, that was more popular than the NFL during that time period. And it was because Sosa McGwire. Stop the bullshit. And there's no reason why Pete Rose should not be in the Hall of Fame. So yes to all three of them. Very and good. Barry Bonds too while we're at it.
Yep.
Take that, Mad Dog. All right. Let's go to the next one.
Agreed.
Mad Dog.
Hang on.
All right. He says, I'm a pretty casual New Japan viewer, so I have to ask, is Strong their 205 Live or NXT or neither? Should the Strong title and tag titles be defended at Wrestle Kingdom? I'll take this quick. Yeah, it's kind of their developmental brand, but it's also their US-based territory, so it's kind of a cool deal they have here. I do think they should have their titles be represented since it is Wrestle Kingdom, so I don't see why that would be a problem. As of now, what match are you most excited for at Wrestle Kingdom? I mentioned Jay White Okada. Who is someone who is underutilized in New Japan? Damn you, Chris Jericho. Tomohiro Ishii. That's who's underutilized. Give him a world title shot, damn it. All right, let's go to the last set of questions here. We got 3 more. It says, how well do you think Chris Bay and Ace Austin have done in New Japan and in Bullet Club? They were fantastic. I thought they did a great job in the Super Junior Tag League. They were in the finals. They lost to Leo Rush and Yo. So Leo Rush and Yo will be take on the United Empire for those junior tag titles at Wrestle Kingdom. So that should be a pretty good match. I think they're good for what they've done. They've done some good stuff in Impact as well as a tag team. So so far it's still good with those two guys. Could Bushi ever break through and be a never open weight or U.S. champion? No. Look, I enjoy Bushi's work. He is on the little totem pole of LIJ. I just don't see him becoming a single champion like that. Last question here. He says, how much of Stardom have you seen before? What caught your eye the most? I only got to see the the crossover show with New Japan and Stardom that they did about a month and a half ago, Brett Carter, which is really cool. They had Stardom people fight New Japan. Stardom is the main Japanese women's promotion out there, and it was very, very cool. And you're one of your favorite waterfalls, Kairi Sane, is the current IWGP Women's Champion out
That's
there.
awesome. Which is great. Yeah. My only concern about that is now she's going to show up randomly on AEW, and I'm just going to be like, ugh.
Yeah, I can't wait for Britt Baker and Kairi Sane on Rampage. On that note, folks, that is the wrap up for this week's edition of the Back Porch Q&A session. As always, if you want to participate, send us a question to thehootspodcast@gmail.com or at the Hoots Podcast on Twitter. Now we pass this floor back to Brother Carter here for our year-end special awards.
Yay! Let's applaud. Round of applause for the year-end special. Yes. Looking forward to handing out our awards. And what I thought we would do, Josh, is I'm just going to give out a few categories, just a few things I thought of. If there's any categories you want to mention, we can certainly do that. Go ahead.
Let's use all the ones that you mentioned in our chat box.
Yeah, of course. So I have some ideas for some thoughts, and we'll talk about those. And I just want to say ahead of time that we are very unbiased in this. We tell it like it is. We don't get payoffs from bookers to give awards. We actually give actual awards of what we think are the best ones. So I'm going to start. Let's start with Josh. And by the way, for every category, we're going to give a best and we're going to give a worst so that we have a great award and a raspberry award. So I want to start with you, Josh, and I'm going to say show of the year, best show of the year, worst show of the year.
Okay. Best show of the year for me is Clash of the Castle from WWE. Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns is up there for my match of the year. One of them is not my main one, but just the atmosphere, the entire show from top to bottom was fantastic. The crowd in the UK, it was really special. It was some like pre-COVID time special of how much the energy they brought to that show. Clash of the Castle was my favorite show of the year that I got to cover. And then the worst one, it's all out. It's not close. It's all out. First off, the show went way too long. They had unnecessary time changes, and you basically had a brawl that made your company look low rent, even lower than GCW. So I am going to go with All Out as the worst show of the year.
Even though your boy won the world title?
Yes. Especially that.
Yeah. Josh, it's funny. I agree with you on both of those things. My only thing that might rival it would be WrestleMania Night 1. And that's just because of the return of Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens and Steve Austin main eventing Night 1, which was great. And Austin Theory taking the stunner, McAfee taking the stunner. Or did that happen Night 2?
That was Night 2.
Yeah, but the main event of Night 1 was Austin versus KO. Yeah. So but I agree with you, Josh. That Clash at the Castle show was unbelievable. And then for worst show of the year, I have either All Out, and mostly that's just because of the media scrum that followed and how AEW really, that right there is the beginning of the end of AEW. So in some ways you could call it the best show of 2022 because it is the end of the downfall of AEW. So I have that. I have either All Out or Revolution, just because Hangman Page defeating Adam Cole. Don't care about that. So those are our best and worst shows of the year. I got one for you, Josh. Rookie of the year, and we'll do just a positive one for you. Rookie of the year. Who would you have as rookie of the year?
I know a lot of people would expect to like pick like Austin Theory, stuff like that, but I don't consider him a rookie.
Right.
I don't. So for me, rookie of the year.
Can you get a little closer to your mic, Josh?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So I think for me, I'm gonna go with Roxanne Perez. I wanted to go with Hook. This would be different, but I'm gonna go with Roxanne Perez as rookie of the year.
I was going to say either Roxanne Perez or Cora Jade, because I think Cora Jade's had an incredible year as well. If Hook would have gotten more TV time, I would have said Hook, because I think Hook is tremendous. But I've got, I'm going to go with Roxanne Perez as well, with Cora Jade being a close second, because I think Cora Jade's going to have a great year in 2023. Speaking of which, let's transition now. Who was your breakout star in 2022, and who will be your breakout star in 2023?
All right. Breakout. I'm going to go. Breakout for me this year is, man, it's hard to pick. There's so many choices to go for a lot of different companies too. That's the thing. I'm going to go with, man, this one's really stumping me. I'm gonna go with Liv Morgan as breakout for 2022. I think her year collectively was very good. She got a big shiny moment at Money in the Bank and became the SmackDown Women's Champion. I thought she was a victim of the fickle WWE universe, and I don't take that as a shot towards her. It's more the audience being fickle, not really knowing what they really want at the end of the day. And I think that I think Liv Morgan deserves that praise and adulation. As we get into 2023, I think it'll be a bigger year for Braun Breaker. I think it'll be a good year for the Dante Martins of the world for AEW. I can't really say Josh Alexander from Impact, because Josh Alexander has been a great performer for many, many years. So it's really hard to say, oh, Josh Alexander is going to be a breakout performer. You know what I mean? I would say look out for Killer Kelly for 2023 on the female side. I think 2023 is going to be good to her on Impact. I think Cora Jade takes another step in 2023 as well. And if I have to pick another one, I think Carmelo Hayes probably deserves some praise here, so I'll go with him as a breakout as well for 2022. But my main ones for breakout are Carmelo Hayes and Liv Morgan, and then for 2023, I can see like Dante Martin and Killer Kelly and some other people outside of AEW and WWE probably take the next step for next year.
Awesome. Yeah, sorry about that. I had to run and take care of something, but I'm good.
Yep.
For my breakout star for 2022, and I know he's been on a trajectory, but I'm going to say MJF. I think MJF is the breakout star of 2022 just because we all knew how good he was, but he's really taken it to the next level. So I would say either him, some honorable mentions. I would say the Acclaimed definitely had a great year this year, and they're finally starting to come into their own as a legitimate team. I also would throw in there either Roxanne Perez or Cora Jade. I've got of my breakout stars for 2022. I think that they're really starting to have great seasons and starting to come out and move forward. Breakout stars for 2023. I've got Ricky Starks. I think we're starting to see the ascension of Ricky Starks. Hook. I hope Hook, that they're finally going to actually do something correctly with Hook. But I give all of our breakout stars in AEW an asterisk, because you just never know how they're going to be booked, because AEW doesn't know how to book a television program. So There you go. Some other potential breakout stars, I think. This, I don't know if you could consider him a breakout star because he's already a star, but who could take a big leap? Watch out for Braun Breaker in 2023. If he ends up making it up to the main roster, I think that could be huge. Who else? Who else could have a huge 2023? Yeah, I'm just trying to think of who could potentially have a great 2023. I'm gonna stick with Ricky Starks and Hook, maybe Braun Breaker, and maybe Cora Jade. Those will be some breakout stars for 2023. For me.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, moving. Go ahead.
I just wanted to mention I wanted to go with Wardlow, but such the fallout for him after the Double or Nothing, I can't go with that.
I can't either, and that sucks because I thought Wardlow had potential, but he succumbed to AEW's booking. Okay, here we go. This is going to be a fun one. Best announcer and worst announcer.
Oh god.
This one for me is easy. Best announcer, Pat McAfee, by far. I think Pat McAfee is the best announcer by far. The worst announcer is it's a toss-up between Excrement and Schiavone. I'm going to go with Schiavone just because he tries so hard to be Mean Gene and he's not. And he says, "It's Sting!" And it makes me want to vomit every time because this is not WCW 90s. So I've got Pat McAfee as my best, and I'm going to go with Schiavone as my worst. Who do you have?
For my best, it's a two-way tie with Kevin Kelly and Michael Cole.
Oh.
I think this has been one of Cole's best years, especially over the last couple months. Kevin Kelly is my favorite announcer in wrestling today with New Japan. He's just phenomenal. Let's see who else here. Worse? I'm going to go with Corey Graves.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think Corey Graves has really brought down the quality of Raw this year. And, everybody can make excuses about the show being 3 hours and blah, 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 and booking and this and that. Honestly, there was a lot of shit that went on in the Attitude Era, but guess what? JR and the King kept you interested into the show as it was going on. Even when the stupid stuff was going on, and Vince Russo was booking the show. So that's not an excuse. Your narrators are the one that should keep you energized while watching the show, and not having a patronizing, snarky, wannabe, how you know who to pick out of the litter, like JBL ripoff is. I'm sorry, I gotta go with Corey Graves. I just think for me, if I went with Excalibur, I just think it would be low hanging fruit. It's kind of like mute, I guess, for me. But I'm gonna go with Corey Graves.
I understand. No, he has diminished in quality greatly, and I'm not a fan of that. Okay, most improved, Josh. Most improved.
All right.
Who do you have for most improved this year?
Most improved. Man.
Nice. I've got a couple off the top of my head. I've got Angelo Dawkins as most improved. I think he's really turned it around, for sure. I got the Acclaimed. They've really turned things around and they've won me over big time. So those are a couple that I can think of as most improved. Dominic Mysterio is another one I think could win most improved award. What he's been doing recently with the Judgment Day and that heel character he's playing, he plays a chicken shit heel really well. I've been very impressed. So those are a few that come to my mind for most improved.
I got two.
Okay.
Rhea Ripley and Jamie Hayter. I got two ladies. Those are my two picks.
Yeah, good choices. Good choices. I would agree with those as well. Good stuff there. Okay. Best match of the year, worst match of the year.
Oh,
well, worst match of the year is going to be hard because we could pretty much just name anything on AEW television, but
it's about right. Oh man, this is
let's just do best match of the year or your match of the year.
No, we can do worse as well, but
okay.
I'll give you three.
Okay.
Because I had to add New Japan to this. I just think it'd be unfair to not mention them.
Sure.
Will Ospreay and Okada for night 2 of Wrestle Kingdom this past year was phenomenal. I really loved that match. Also, Gunther and Sheamus from Clash of the Castle is up there for me. And then my last one is MJF and CM Punk from the Dynamite in Chicago.
Nice. I've got a couple as well. Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, Hell in the Cell. I thought that was what Cody Rhodes was able to do wrestling. Like when he took off that coat and had showed his pectoral injury, he was still able to go. That was awesome. I thought the first one that they had was it Payback. That was matchup of the year. Backlash. Sorry. Yep. Was that's for the longest time was my match of the year, and then I saw Hell in the Cell. So that one, I've got Roman and Drew up there from Clash at the Castle. I thought was absolutely terrific. And I know I didn't get to see it, but from what I've heard, it was phenomenal. I'm going to say FTR versus the Briscoes 2 at the match that they had at ROH over the summer. I heard it was just phenomenal. Yeah. So I'm going to go with those 3 as some matches of the year as well.
Also, if you guys like tag team wrestling, you guys should check out FTR against Aussie Open from Royal Quest for New Japan. That was a very, very good match.
Got it. Okay.
Real quick, worst match of the year.
Oh, worst match of the year. Oh boy. I'm gonna say these trios matches that we're seeing.
The best of 7.
Yeah. And the reason I say that is, and we'll talk about this when we get into the show, but for me, there is no doubt in my mind that all 6 of these guys are incredible athletes. You can't deny that they are really, really just fantastic athletes. But we're basically going to see the same match 7 times in a row.
Yeah.
So how can you even it's like, okay, we've seen this. Don't care. So.
I got one.
Okay.
Anarchy in the Arena. Double or Nothing.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Yes. Good choice. Good choice. Yes. Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. And now we want to introduce a couple of awards, Josh, that I know you've been looking forward to. And then we'll get into Wrestlers of the Year. The first one, the Aubrey Edwards Medal of Shame. You mentioned this. I thought it was great. The Aubrey Edwards Medal of Shame Award. There it is. There's the graphic.
No, wait for it.
Yeah, where is it? I saw it in the upper corner there. There it is.
No, not in the background. What are we doing here?
See, this is what the Aubrey Edwards Medal of Shame does. It causes our graphics not to work correctly. There.
Yes. There you go.
Oh, God. So, Josh, this award is given to the most delusional person in 2022. We've got a long list. Who is your most delusional person of 2022?
Most delusional. Dave Meltzer.
Yep.
I wanted to add Brandon Thurston in there too because he does the whole thing with like adding numbers and stuff, but you can tell that he wants AEW to be better than WWE because he saw like those investor calls and that's how some people in the media act. I'm gonna go with Meltzer. Even though there's been times where he's been critical of AEW, I'm sorry, I gotta call it what it is. You want to talk about delusional? You have a picture of Aubrey Edwards and Seltzer next to each other. It's like the double standards, the talking on both sides of his ass when things are good for one company but it isn't for another. This his delusion, and like he said, he even said this morning. I watched the clip. He talked about last night's Dynamite. He's like, I think this is one of the greatest shows they ever did. What?
Did he really say that?
Yeah. I'm sorry. The inaugural recipient of the Aubrey Edwards Medal of Shame is Dave Meltzer.
Yeah. I can't disagree with you, Josh. The only time he called out AEW's bullshit is when so much of the internet has finally turned on AEW that he had no choice But to say, well, yeah, it wasn't great. No. It was still good, but it wasn't great. Meltzer and with Brian Alvarez being a close second for most delusional of the year. The other awards I want you to hand out, Josh, is the Yawn Club Awards for 2022. And for those, Josh, for those of you that may be tuning in, can you explain what yawn means to our audience?
Yes, you're a Nimrod Award. Yes.
Yep. Go ahead. Actually, go ahead.
Yes, I'm gonna bring my mic closer so you guys can hear me well.
Yes, good.
I'm gonna go for this award. We're gonna do this every year. This is gonna be our Hall of Fame award. So you have 5 people every year getting nominated into the Yawn Club.
Right.
Now all these are all professors at DSU, Dipshit University. They're all involved here. And here's our first class.
Okay.
Of the 2022 Yawn Club.
Great.
Brian Alvarez.
Yes.
Okay. The Disco Inferno 2. JD from New York.
Oh, God.
That's 3. 4. Chris Jericho.
Good choice.
And number 5, Tony Khan.
Bravo. I like it. Yep, that seems like a pretty good class to me. They are all Nimrods, and they are an indictment on the wrestling industry, and they need to go home and stay home.
Yes.
Bravo. All right. Couple more awards, Josh, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Tag Team of the Year. I'm throwing up my one right now. Yep, no doubt, Usos. With FTR a close second. I've got Usos with FTR. Close second. Great.
Worst tag team?
Oh, worst tag team. Ooh. Can I say the Young Bucks?
You could, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Young Bucks just because, mostly because what they do outside of the ring and just how annoying they are and how they think they're God's gift to wrestling outside of the ring. I've got the Bucks as the worst team of 2022.
Oh man, there's a lot to choose from.
There are a lot to choose from.
I could go with Maximum Male Models.
Ooh, yeah.
I could go. You mentioned the Bucks there. My pick for worst tag team of 2022, and this goes out to referee Tony. This goes out to everybody that's a New Japan fan. This goes exclusively to the House of Torture.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Yes. It's either the House of Torture or, listen to this. Can't believe I'm saying this. 2.0.
Oh.
2.0 is up there. And then the other one I wanted to mention here is, as we're doing this, is Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. Not only for what they did in AEW, but for Ric Flair's last match as well.
Forgot about it.
What's the next one?
All right. Female superstar of the year, best and worst.
Bianca Belair. It's not close for me. I think it's Bianca Belair.
Yep.
Worst, Sasha Banks.
Oh, good choice. Man, I was gonna go with Willow Nightingale as worst, but I can't. You're right, Josh. It's Sasha Banks or as I call her, overrated Banks.
Yes.
I agree with you. Bianca and Sasha. That's it. No problem there.
I mean, I could go with Marina Shafir, but
that's not. I don't think she's been on television enough to warrant that. Can we give her an award for worst promo of the year?
Oh God. I guess.
Yeah. Okay, let's do this one. Best promo of the year, worst promo of the year. I forgot about this one.
All right. Best promo of the year, MJF after Double or Nothing calling Tony Khan a mark.
Yes. 100%. Or pretty much any MJF promo, you could just say.
Also, I'll give credit to when the first Usi mentioned, when Jay said that he doesn't care what the tribal chief says. That whole segment from SmackDown is up there for me.
Yeah, no, both excellent choices. And then worst promo of the year, it's got to be Marina Shafir's "You Know Me."
You know me. You don't know me. You know me.
I don't know what the hell that was.
Or Chris Jericho's "The Ocho" presentation.
God, or just anytime Jake Hager speaks, can we throw that in there?
And Wheeler Useless as well, yes.
Right. Okay, and then final award this year, males, best male superstar, worst male superstar. Let's get the best one out of the way. That one's easy. Throw up your one. Yep, Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. That one's easy. Worst superstar of 2022.
Chris Jericho.
Yep, 100%.
Big part of me wanted to say CM Punk, but I'm going to go with Chris Jericho.
I agree with you, Josh. And any other awards we need to hand out, Josh?
No, I just wanted to mention that the worst referee this year outside of Aubrey Edwards was the court's ref, as always. He's just absolutely brutal. Joe Dutch, if you will. And also, I just wanted to say that as far as TV show of the year, I'm going to go with SmackDown. And Booker, since we don't really talk about Booker, but if we have to pick one, I'm going to go with Scott D'Amore from Impact. I can't go with Triple H because there's not much of a sample size. He only came in half the year, so I can't really say it's Triple H. So
agreed.
I'm going to go Scott D'Amore and Impact.
Very good. Nicely done. By the way, you mentioned Sami Zayn. I'm going to throw him in there for a potential breakout star in 2023. He may have the year of his life in 2023. So that's going to be great. And those are the year-end awards, ladies and gentlemen. As always, feel free to reach out to us if you have any other thoughts. Or is that a Bray Wyatt sound effect, Josh? You got the Bray Wyatt kids back there? What you got back there?
Yeah, I messed it around a couple of days.
Yeah. Nice. But Josh, I have a question for you. Are you ready?
Am I?
Are you ready for the best segment in all of wrestling podcasting? Are you ready for the question that we ask ourselves every single week? It is, what the hell is wrong with AEW? And we're going to get this bad boy started in a 3, a 2, a 1. Oh, I have to do it this week, don't I? I forgot I was hosting.
Oh, hold up. The audio didn't come in, right?
I did not hear it, no.
Let me upload it here on my thing. Let's just take 1 second. Trust me, guys.
Well,
I'm sorry about that.
No, that's all right. This is the effect that AEW has on us.
Yeah, exactly. All right. We got it right here in our StreamYard here.
All right.
It's processing. It's coming in.
Beat your meat. 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 Beat your meat.
I'm telling you, my time is right now. Right this minute, 2022. We're living in my time is now. My time is right goddamn now.
Man, what intensity.
It's time for What the Hell is Wrong with AEW? Winter is coming! Ah! It is that magical time of the week where we ask ourselves, what the hell is wrong with AEW, aka what isn't wrong with AEW? And Josh, this is Winter is Coming. You know, this is the event where Sting showed up for the first time, and this is supposedly a magical time in AEW. And I will say there was a couple things that I enjoyed from the show this week that kind of made me pop, but overall, Winter can go home and stay home because this was not a good thing. But let's talk about the things we did enjoy this week. I'll give you a few. Overall, I actually didn't mind the match with Brian Cage and Jungle Boy. The finish was definitely sloppy, and Prince Nana was out of place, and that was all kind of a mess. But overall, I thought that match was good. I enjoyed that. I know you're not a huge fan of the House of Black. I thought that their entrance was tremendous this week. I thought that was terrific. Unless I'm getting you're nodding your head, so I may be getting
I'm a fan of House of Black. I don't like how they've been used.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, fine. But yeah, I thought House of Black was I thought they were tremendous this week. I know we don't talk a lot about a booking, but I thought they were booked absolutely perfectly this week. So I thought that was really good. And I got to tell you, the Jobber beating Jericho was freaking hilarious. I lost my mind at that. And the crowd getting behind the Jobber, I thought that was really cool. And also a great moment for that kid, for Andretti to get a win. And the main event was just tremendous. I mean, I want to see what MJF and Starks could do if they weren't limited by TV time, because I thought that match was fan-freaking-tastic. So that's what I enjoyed. What did you enjoy about the show this week, Josh?
I like seeing House of Black. They maximize their TV minutes.
Yep.
In and out. Do what you got to do. I really liked the pop that Hook got following the afterbirth of the Brian Cage Jack Perry match. By the way, the firm sucks. I know this supposed to be I know this supposed to be the positive part, but can I just say the firm sucks? I really it was cool for action and Andretti, but Jericho just weighs me down. So a lot of it, I was just indifferent, and I didn't feel like. I guess there had to be a purpose of why they wanted to have a 2-segment match. So if it was just for Andretti to win, then I understand. But I felt this went way too long. But the main event I thought was fine. Old school heel finish with MGF. I thought that was good. But again, just another episode of Dynamite where what could go wrong will go wrong.
And it went wrong. So let's get into it. Let's get into the shit, because oh boy, is there a lot of shit. Excuse me. Started off with the trios match, Josh. I was bored about 2 minutes in.
Yes.
If you've seen one trios match with the Elite, you've seen them all. So
all of them. Yep.
Well, so Josh, I have a question for you. What has Jeff Jarrett done during his time in AEW that's been revolutionary or helpful?
Absolutely nothing.
Correct. So, but yet he's another guy that came in and is going to change. That's a game changer, pal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the signings are game changers.
Oh my God. Yeah. But yeah, you've got all these game changers like Jarrett, like Athena, who is a game changer. And look what she's done. Absolutely nothing. Sting is a game changer. He's done nothing of relevance. Have you ever noticed, Josh, that the best people on AEW right now, the people that I want to see, none of them are ex-WWE talent? Have you noticed that?
Yes, I have.
Yes. So paying them all that money has yeah, that was just. Do you care about Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal versus the Acclaimed?
Absolutely not. I could give two shits about that.
So they're going to get a tag team title match, but other tag teams that are fighting and clawing, scratching their way up are just brushed off to the wayside for Tony Khan's flavor of the month. Like, are you kidding me?
Well, this goes back to the whole dropping your low theory that I mentioned here that AEW just loves to do all the time. Again, I always feel bad for whatever romantic partners Tony Khan gets involved with, because the dude's always shooting his load, not letting things build out. Like, he had to rush to do FTR and the Acclaim on TV when that should have been a pay-per-view match. Mm-hmm. They made Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland absolutely meaningless at this point because, hey, we got 4 WWE guys. Let's have them in title feuds. And once you ran that drill, get that out of the way, what's left there for people to be invested in, you know? And
absolutely nothing.
Same thing here.
Absolutely. So it's just, whatever. Okay. Josh, you mentioned Chris Jericho earlier in the You're a Nimrod Club.
Yep.
And basically you could just throw his whole faction in there because this backstage promo. Now, all of a sudden, Daniel Garcia, they're relegating him back to Jericho's lackey. He's going to be underneath Sammy Guevara. And then Jake Hager at the very end chimes in something about his hat. This is your main faction, ladies and gentlemen, in AEW. Sports entertainers. And this is what they give us.
I wish I know what Jake Hager should do with that hat. He should roll it up in a ball, turn that sumbitch sideways, and stick it straight up his fucking Donald Trump loving ass.
There you go.
Oh, really quick, going back to the Elite and Death Triangle match. Mm-hmm. Again, I agree with everything you said. The same shit we see all the time. Dead Corpse Web looks absolutely lost. It's purpose. It's meaningless at this point. But here's the stupid thing about it. Okay, so to necessify the fact that the Elite are going to come back down from 3-1, what they're going to do is they're going to have gimmick matches for next week. The 6 matches, the Falls Count Anywhere match, and then the last one in LA, as if that's not giving the result away, it's Escalera de la Muerte. And I'm like, thank you for just spoiling to your audience that the Elite are going to come back from 3-1, because of course they're going to.
Of course they are.
So stupid.
And they did it during a world title match. They talked about the Elite during their world title match that has been anticipated for a while now. But we got to get the Elite in there because the EVPs can't stand to be outstaged by anybody.
I can't stand Excalibur's PBS telethon commentary. Call the action. This is not a telethon where people are calling and you're doing plugs every 45 seconds. Holy shit. Put it on the advertisement. Put it on the lower third like you see here on our video for this episode. See that? That's a lower third. Use it.
Correct. Okay. Josh, you mentioned this earlier, but did you notice that Hook gets a major pop every time that he comes out? Did you notice that?
Yeah, because he's awesome. That's why.
He is awesome. You also notice that he has got a ton of potential in the ring?
Yes.
Have you noticed how AEW has booked and used him?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So it's just AEW does nothing relevant with somebody who's got potential to be a megastar. I love Hook. I think he's tremendous. But he just kind of, I don't know, he flounders until they need to get a pop or something like that. Like, here's the thing, Josh, with AEW, you never know what you're going to get week to week. And which gives me no reason to tune in. What investment am I going to have now with Hook teaming up with Jack Perry? How is that helpful at all?
By the way, why are they calling William Morrissey Big Bill?
Dude, I don't know.
What are we doing here? Again, the firm sucks. I can't believe that. By the way, this is a man that I had the fortunate pleasure of interviewing on my old radio show. It's on our YouTube feed. Look at Malcolm Bivens or Stokely Halfway, whatever you're calling him. He has regressed so much since he came out to AEW. The firm sucks. The stuff he was doing with Jay Cargill sucked. This is not good. And Lee Moriarty with his shitty ass theme song. It's so bad. And I like Lee. He's a good wrestler. But nobody gives a shit about him. And here's Big Cass. He's going to be intimidating. And what's he going to do? He's going to kowtow the Jungle Boy? Come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on, Kenny. Come on, Ernie. All right. Next week, we get a meeting with Swerve in Our Glory. Woohoo. Don't care.
Yep. Next.
So, Josh, the Factory.
Oh, fuck.
I think they might be more useless than the Jericho Appreciation Society.
Yeah.
And that's saying something.
Yeah.
They were literally fodder for House of Black. Now, House of Black, I thought, was booked perfectly this week, and it was a good reintroduction for them. Julia Hart, Mamma Mia. Very, very, yes. I
would acknowledge it, but she's too young for me, but
Fair.
Yes, I understand what you're
Fair.
saying.
A good point. I'm not saying that just it's agreed, but
Yes.
I agree with you completely. But also, Mamma Mia, like thumbs up for Julia Hart for sure. But no, I thought House of Black was booked well. But you're telling me you couldn't send some of your AEW dark fodder to? You're basically saying to the factory, you are all now jobbers because
yeah. Well, here's the thing. This happens a lot with AEW. Who am I supposed to cheer for? Yeah, House of Black got a cool entrance, they got a cool gimmick, and blah 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 blah. But they still work like heels and act like heels, and they're beating up a boring, irrelevant heel faction. Why is that supposed to make you cheer for them more? Why? Because they're beating up QT Marshall. They're beating up the House of Black. Guess what, everybody? The House of Black beat up Doug Heffernan and his cronies. My back is getting weary. My back is getting.
Oh, that's great. Josh, I will say though, I think that they could do something with Nick Camarado if they ever wanted to do something. I think he's got a good look, actually.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He has a look, and then the bell ring.
No.
Remember that phrase down the road. When you see a bad wrestler, just remember they have potential, but the bell ring.
Yeah, so then there was that. And then the last thing I wrote down was what we talked about earlier was that the announcers are talking about the Elite when a world title match is going on. Yeah. Again, the EVPs count shine. So those are my thoughts on Dynamite this week. It was terrible. It was awful. Nothing great is going to come out of Final Battle because they didn't even acknowledge half of what happened at Final Battle this week. They didn't acknowledge Samoa Joe. They didn't acknowledge they have absolutely no continuity to their television program at all.
Oh, hey, get ready for FTR and the S Boys next week for a holiday bash.
Which I actually think is going to be a good match.
Yeah, because it's FTR. They could wrestle brooms.
True. But I think the Gun Club's got potential too. I really do. We'll see. But that's all I got. Any other final thoughts, Josh?
Yeah, some of the women's stuff. Like, by the way, great to see Anna Jay on my TV screen. Always good to see her on my TV screen. But again, got Jamie Hayter next week against Hikaru Shida. Who gives a shit? The backstage with Britt Baker and Sky Blue. I guess that's a match on Rampage. Don't worry, we'll get to the excrement impression in just a couple seconds. But by the way, shout out to Renee Young, Canada's finest outside of Colby Smulders. And then again, it's just I'm surprised there's no Jay Cargill this week. Maybe they're just holding out hope that Sasha shows up at the LA show. Blah 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 blah. It's gonna be really sad when I'm gonna see how fickle this audience really is, because when Sasha is the one that ends Jay Cargill's winning streak and her undefeated record, what's the reaction gonna be from there? Be careful what you wish for, because believe it or not, Jay Cargill is the top women's champion in AEW. And when you beat her, what's there left? And then last thing with the MJF and Ricky Starks match. Thought the match was fine, but the thing I'm excited for, if MJF is going to get into a program with Karen Danielson, is that I'm really excited and looking forward to when MJF really exposes how overrated Bryan Danielson is, not only as a character, but as a wrestler as well.
Wow. So
I am eagerly waiting their next promo segment, because I think that's coming up soon. I think that's about to happen. MJF better not lose to Karen Danielson at Revolution. I'm just going to say that. It's not 2014. The whole WrestleMania push, yeah, it may be legendary, but that was probably the most forced thing I ever seen in wrestling ever. And we all could thank CM Punk again for that as well. But Brett Carter, you wanted to hear the excrement impression?
Yes, I would love to hear the excrement impression, and go for it.
All right, let me pull out the card here actually for Rampage. Yeah, they taped it last night, right? This is not live tomorrow.
No, I'm sure they taped it because they always tape Rampage, don't they?
Yeah, sometimes they go to different places. I'm just never sure with AEW, you know.
I understand.
The fact that we're gonna have Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal have a tag title match soon is just absolutely ridiculous to me. But that's another show, another time. By the way, why is there so much Officer Bar Brady on the show last night?
Oh my god,
that was strange. All right, here we go.
I'm ready.
Here we go. These are your weekly excrement impression brought to you by yours truly, the nefarious brother Adam. Here we go. Coming to you live on Rampage on Friday on TNT. It is the Blackpool Comics. Let me restart it.
Oh, wow.
I'm reading this card. This is absolutely horrible. Okay, let's do this, all right? Coming to you live on TNT, it's AEW Rampage. It's the Blackpool Comic Club's John Moxley taking on the JS's Sammy Guevara, and he'll be accompanied by Daniel Garcia. Wardlow will be in action. We have the Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, accompanied by Jimmy Hayter and Rebel Shield, be taking on Chicago's own Sky Blue. In the main event, it's Orange Cassidy, Dustin Rhodes, and the Best Friend taking on the team of Kit Sabian, Trent Seven, and the Butcher and the Blade in an 8-man tag team match. Then on Wednesday on TBS, it's AEW The Holiday Bash. We got Jamie Hayter putting her AEW Women's World Championship on the line against Hikaru Shida. FTR will be taking on the Ass Boys, the Gun Club of the Firm. And it's match number 5 in the Best of 7 series, with the Death Triangle having a 3-1 lead over the Elite for the AEW World Trios Championship. More information and more matches to be announced. Follow Tony Khan on Twitter, and we'll be checking out more AEW action, and get your tickets right now at AEWTix.com.
Bravo. The only thing I would say to that, Josh, is remember it's AEWTIX.com. They don't say Tix. AEWTIX.com.
AEWTIX.com.
Thank you very much. Very good. Josh, you ready? Let's get out of here.
Yes, let's get out of here.
There we go. This has been What the Hell is Wrong with AEW. Everything. You got one more for us?
But no, I can't do it this week because I'm testing thing out with the league board, so okay. I can't do it yet. But I will say, for Swerve Strickland, I don't know why you're so depressed, bro. You got the dirt sheets in your bag. Ain't your cousin working for Fightful or for something? He's like, oh, I don't have friends. I don't have anybody in this world that supports me. That's a bunch of cap.
Awesome. Well, this has been a great week. I know we didn't get to the Mandy Rose stuff, but that's okay. Oh yeah, go ahead, Josh. I know you.
Let me do this. Let me do this now.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We had this discussion yesterday, and I was not. I don't want to get into the details about this, and the reason I want to do this rant to close out the show because I think it's very important to the situation and what's going on, and I think people need to listen up here. Mandy Rose lost her brother about a couple months ago. She lost a family member, and this girl's been going through a lot this year, and I really usually don't talk about this because I think it's kind of like a weird dick measuring contest where, you know, you make fun of people who don't get like waterfall, or, you know, like when people say, oh, you can really tell who doesn't sleep with people, you know, like that type of dialogue, bro, Carter. But honestly, it reared its ugly head this week, not only with the Mandy Rose stuff, but with Mia Yim having to deactivate her Twitter because to some people, they felt compelled enough to make a big fuss over the fact that she took a picture with Austin Theory with her sitting on his lap. Folks, for the love of God, touch some fucking grass. Get out of your fucking house and stop living in the wrestling bubble 24/7 and get a fucking life. We're not going to come here and do a morale debate about whether WWE is in the wrong of firing Mandy Rose. Honestly, I don't care about it. It's not me and Brother Carter don't have to be the authority of every topic that goes on in professional wrestling. That's why we don't really talk about booking on the show. It's why we don't really expand on a lot of stuff like this stuff, because honestly, it has nothing to do with what's going on in the ring. Like Brother Carter mentioned, the whole plan with Roxanne Perez was there from day one. That was the whole plan. But all this stuff with Mandy Rose and what happened with her over the last couple of days is unfortunate, and it's really disgusting to see people trying to opine and make like themselves like martyrs, either defending her or trying to make it a bigger issue than what it really is. Folks, read the contracts that you sign. I'm so fucking sick and tired of wrestling fans acting like they know what it actually means to be an independent contractor. Yeah, you are an independent contractor, but there are provisions into being an independent contractor, whether you want to recognize that or acknowledge that or not. And here's the deal. I don't care what she does on her own time. That's her prerogative. It's none of our business, okay? But I'm so tired, Brother Carter, of the entitlement, and people feel like they need to be the authority of every topic of what's right or how things are supposed to be handled, and trying to act like they're morale priests, because the same people that shoot arrows at these companies when they make decisions that they don't like, they can't even look themselves in the mirror because they do stupid shit too. Nobody in this life is without fault or flaws. Right. And I'm sick and tired of the nonsense. Leave this fucking girl alone. You don't know what really led up to that decision of her release. You can go on any website and you can believe whatever you want and read on the internet. But until she speaks for herself of what really happened, none of this means shit at the end of the day. So I'm not going to come here and debate you on whether WWE was in the right or wrong of releasing Mandy Rose. One, I don't care about what she does on her own time. And two, it's none of my business. Leave the fucking girl alone. She's dealing with enough shit. And leave Mia Yim alone too. Get out of your house. Get off of Twitter. You know, it's possible to take some time off of Twitter. You know, you don't have to be in it all day, 24/7, 365. And that's all I have to say about it. It's absolutely embarrassing that these fucking dickless twats feel like they need to be the authority and the morale police of everything that goes on in professional wrestling. And I'm sick and tired of it.
Well said. Well said, Josh. And that's how we're going to end the show, ladies and gentlemen, on Josh Lopez dropping knowledge like only Josh Lopez can. That's what we all need. We all need that now. We all need that in 2023. So I want to thank everybody for checking out episode 339 of the Hoots podcast. It's been an honor truly to be your host for this episode. This is actually my last episode of 2022. I'm taking some time off for the next couple of weeks to do some family stuff, but I will be back live and in living color, whether it's live or via satellite. I'll be back in 2023. Looking forward to being the bigger, badder, stronger, faster. I am the ER of the Hoots podcast. Badder, stronger, faster, all that stuff. Not going to the emergency room, but you know what I mean. Yes. So just like Bianca Belair is not the Eastern Standard Time Zone of WWE. Yes. So, it's been a pleasure. We certainly wish you all a very happy holidays, a wonderful holiday season. Josh, thanks for everything this year. It's been a blast. Looking forward to a great 2023. And we will catch you all next time. You all be back next week for episode 340 of the Hoots podcast. And I will see you all in 2023. Real quick, Josh, where can everybody follow you on social media?
Yes, you can follow me on Twitter at the Hoots podcast. I'm also on Instagram at Josh Lopez Media. If you'd like to check out my transcript work, please check out ProWrestlingTranscriptions.com.
Great. And you can follow me on Twitter at Derek Stoughton. You can also follow me on the Instagram at Derrico06. Check out my work on Wrestling Rumors, as well as my work at DerekStoughton.com. As always, ladies and gentlemen, be the authentic product that is yourself. Remember, nobody dictates your life but you and the man upstairs. Thanks again for checking out episode 339, and we'll see you all next week for episode 340, and I will see you in 2023. Yes, sir.